Good afternoon, everyone. And for those who are watching out us from a different time zone, good morning or good evening, wherever you may be, or whether you're watching on a replay or live. My name is Marilyn. I'm the founder and CEO of Customized Training Solutions Private Limited, or CTS, and we are passionate about helping leaders and organizations who are continuous learners and action takers to transform and thrive in all aspects by co creating customized programs with our world class resources. We have served over 3,000 leaders from over 30 countries in different industries, including Petronas, Sony Mobile, ProLife UK, Ayala Group, Chevron, Tencent, Jollibee Foods Corporation, and Shell, to name a few. And the reason why we are organizing several interventions, including this interview, is to help leaders who don't know how to stay relevant and adapt to the next normal, those who find it stressful to lead and ensure performance of a remote or hybrid team, and those who are afraid that you can't keep your team or your business. So, to be able to stay relevant and continue to lead effectively in any situation, do join us in this intervention. And today, I'm super excited to introduce our leader for today. She's coming. Her name is Loubna Ammer. She's a strong believer that we humans were meant to be happy, healthy, and wealthy, but there are hidden blocks lurking in the dark. According to her, she helps her clients clear those blocks and achieve their goals by offering life coaching, mentoring, and private consultations. Lubna promotes her unique happiness and abundance mindset, marrying actual life experiences with skills she learned from top academies in the world, including the United Arab Emirates and the United States of America. Lubna is the first transformational NLP master practitioner in Dubai. She is a certified happiness and positivity consultant and the first Arab woman to receive the World Greatness Award from Greatness University in London in 2020 as an ME business consultant. Along her journey, she received several titles such as World Peace and Humanity Ambassador from the Peace Academy in Germany. And besides being a proud single mom of two amazing kids, Lubna offers free and paid content using her social media platforms to shed light on the fact that happiness is actually achievable. She is a holder of master's degree in translation interpreting from the American University of Sharjah, and she speaks Arabic, English, and German. Lubna is a lifelong learner and a citizen of the world. So, without so much further ado, I'd like to bring her in with me. Hi, Lubna. How are you?
Hello. Hi, Marilyn. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you also for this amazing introduction. I'm very humbled by your kindness. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm really excited while reading your introduction as well, that it's like you're providing happiness. And again, like I would say that happiness is like the main goal of most people, right? We're doing a lot of things, working hard sometimes, and that is all to be happy, right?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, whether we admit it or not, we are creatures of love and happiness. So
Exactly.
basically, when somebody is resisting this concept, they are creating a very unhappy reality for themselves.
True, true. And I'm really grateful to have or to about to have this conversation with you because
Thank you.
normally I work with in the B2B space or business to business space where like they don't really talk so much about happiness, about
Mhm.
joy, about love and all those stuff. So I mean this is a good way for us to remind them, and at the end of the day, like what we were talking about earlier before we started, that our main goal is to really, hopefully, to inspire others and to add value through this conversation. So before we start, I'm already excited because someone is already engaging with us. Thank you, Prakash, for engaging with us.
Thank you.
He says, "Good one, Marilyn," and "Hi, Lubna. Good to know you." Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for engaging with us, and it's also an invitation to all those who is watching us, whether live or replay, to do engage with us. Ask your question. We will do our best. Lubna and I will do our best to answer your question. Although, again, we will be following specific questions as well along the way. I will be asking you 8 questions, in fact, Lubna, and that will be the first 3 questions will be around us to have a better understanding on from which perspective you're coming from and your experiences as well. And then 4 to 6 question, in the same mentorship program with Kane and Alicia, so I would say that's the juicy part of the conversation. And the last two will be very open questions and very interesting questions. I would say that I would refer to as Miss Universe questions. So, with that, I'd like to start with the first one.
Yes,
Um,
please go ahead.
yeah, please do share with us your leadership experiences and influencers. If you do have like a favorite leadership style that you'd like to share with us, please do so.
Great. Thank you so much. This question of leadership is really debatable. And from my own experience, I noticed that really it's different from one community to other communities. So in some communities, they think that leadership has to do with your gender. Are you a man or are you a woman? And then they will give you specific roles accordingly. But from my own experience, and this is something that we are debating a lot about nowadays, even more ever than before, given all the movements to women empowerment. So the topic of leadership and does it have to do with being a man or a woman? You know, this is like a huge topic right now, and there, there are so many heated arguments about it. But I think that the person, this human being, is either born a leader or not. They do not necessarily need to be born followers, not necessarily. Okay, they can be leaders, they can be followers, they can be neither one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of leadership, I was reading this very interesting quote that the manager will tell the employees what to do, what they need to do, and will assign tasks, etc. But the leader will inspire them to do something new, to come out of their comfort zone, to become in touch with their creativity inside. That is why I love this topic so much, because you look around, it has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. It's very larger topic than that. And in the mentorship program, we have seen for yourself, right? I mean, we have Kane and we have Alicia. And for me, I consider them as role models, because Kane is very successful as a leader, and his wife, Alicia, is also very successful as a leader. So
True.
this couple, they can be an excellent role model on several levels, even, in relationship, in business partnership between men and women, in the leadership world as well.
Wow, thank you for sharing with us. And from that, I would say that you really look up to our mentors, Kane and Alessia, in terms of
Yes.
partnership, their leadership, and how they work together. In fact, right? And it's amazing, right? Especially when like um, people or like partners like them are really like helping each other in terms of bringing other people to the next level by inspiring us as well in the community,
Yes.
right? And so, having said that, I mean, based on your experience as well, working with mentors and doing your business right now, what is leadership for you if you were to define it?
I think leadership is being a role model yourself, to have a clear vision. Where do you want to go? And to be able to devise a roadmap for the people who want to follow your footsteps.
Oh, that's great. You made
But
it sound simple.
yeah, actually, it's a process. It's a process. I mean, gaining clarity in itself, this is a very big challenge.
Mhm,
And when we reach this part, when I talk about how I joined the mentorship, I'm going to tell you why
mhm,
exactly. So
mhm.
stay tuned. It's very juicy story.
That's
So
great.
gaining clarity is very, very important, because if you do not have this clarity and what do you want to do with your life and what do you want to do with this relationship, what do you want to do with your work, it's going to cost you not only time or money, it's going to cost you your own happiness. You will be lost in life. And as
Exactly.
you know, the clock is still going. It will not wait for you to have this clarity. So you know, when I simplify the steps, this is only maybe to provide like an overview, but the steps, they each one of them is a process on its own right. It's not very easy, and I need to add here that okay, after you lay down the roadmap for everyone who would like to follow your footsteps, it's very important that you do not force them to go this way. To just keep in mind that every single one of us as human beings, we are here on earth to have our own experience. So when I'm forcing my views or when I'm forcing my experiences on you, then this will take from your own free will. This will diminish parts of your own experience as well. So I think it's very important for leaders to realize that their job is to point to the way and not force people to follow the way.
That's very interesting concept, I would say, Lubna. And I really like the part where, I think that from the definition of leadership you've said, there are three important, I would say, key aspects that you've shared, which is being a role model, number one. Number two is having a clear vision. And last but not the least is really devising a roadmap to get to that vision. And then again, like what you've said, it's not just these three things, right? That it sounds so simple. It sounds easy, but again, like what you've said, it's a process. And I really love that you've shared that, not everyone have the same experience, have the same perspective. And our role as a leader is to really direct them on the possibilities, right?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I really love how you've actually simplified that in a sentence for us. And so, and in my
Thank you.
introduction as well earlier, um, I have made mention about the like staying relevant, next normal, new normal, and obviously there has been like a lot of change, especially in the last 2 years that we've faced during the pandemic, right? So, how would you define or describe the next normal if in any way you believe in it? Because just recently I got someone who said there's no such thing. So I'm curious to know what's your take on next normal.
Okay, thank you so much. This is an excellent question, especially on the backdrop of the pandemic. I mean, here in Germany, we are just barely getting out of the pandemic and the quarantine, and just barely getting rid of the masks. You know, I have a deep feeling when I go to a supermarket without my mask, I feel like I'm violating some rules. Okay, but this is amazing because I believe that. If we look on the major events that our planet went through, every major event has identified the next normal. Like, for example, this interview we are having, you and me right now, it's online. I mean, I'm here in Germany, you are there. I think you are based in the Philippines, right?
Singapore. I'm based in Singapore
Oh,
right now.
sorry. Sorry for this mistake, honest mistake.
No
So,
worries.
and you are based in Singapore, and this is amazing. And I think without the pandemic and without everybody pivoting their businesses, right, and shifting their mindsets and looking to expand their network and looking for ways to communicate, because we humans, we are social beings by
Mhm.
instinct. So we will always find ways to connect and communicate one to another. So I think I think this going online now is the new normal, because before I came to Germany, I was based in the UAE, and I used to work as an Arabic English translator and interpreter. I have actually a master's degree in translation and interpreting, right? So all of the conferences I would attend, workshops, etc., they are all in person. And we would hear stories about countries like in Singapore, in Japan, where they host sessions and speakers, etc., online, and they would display them. They would connect maybe over Skype or something, and then they would display the speaker on a big screen in front of the audience. And you know what? Everyone would say, "This is the future of public speaking. This is the future of public speaking." But nobody was doing that, right? But then we have the pandemic. Now we have the pandemic, and we have seen an explosion of online conferencing, online coursing, online public speaking. So now this is the new normal.
Exactly. And yeah, it's a reminder that a lot of things are possible as well, right? And you pointing out like that story that it's feasible. And up until now, I mean, despite that, quite a number of event services companies have or training companies are starting to do their program live again or on a face-to-face level. There are still people who are kind of uncomfortable with that or finds virtual sessions still like an option for them, or now I think we the best is to call them like more of as a like hybrid, right? And before I ask you
Exactly.
my
You are reading my
yeah.
mind. I was thinking of the same exact word. I'm sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt,
No
but you
worries.
know what? This is what's happening really in reality right now. We are having now this hybrid kind of conferencing and learning, and even in business. Like last week, I participated in a camp. One of my friends in the Emirates, he was holding an in-person camp for public
Mm-hmm.
speaking, and he invited me as a bonus session because okay, so first of all, he invited me as a bonus session for the participants online. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone was on Zoom, and they were participating, and they were doing the exercises and engaging, and I loved it. Honestly, I loved it. And now the sky is the limit. If the speaker or the expert is for any reason they are not able to go or travel or go somewhere, they can, from the comfort of their own home, just connect online and
True.
and and do the work. Right? All you do not even need a professional gear. You do
Mm-hmm.
not even need that. From your own phone, all you need is a good camera and good internet connection, and you are good to go.
Exactly. I've been like attending a lot of seminars, conferences, and summits and training programs on online. Although, of course, like because I run a lot of technical programs as well in our company, so we have done that during the pandemic. Believe me, but most of the time, especially traditional trainers or consultant, really like looks forward to having the face to face again because it's different when you can touch people, when you can like have that rapport building on a face to face level, right? But again, we have to also learn how to make use of technology, leverage on technology in these times as well, right? And it's been
Exactly.
acceptable, and it's about how you actually not really convert but transform the sessions, right, into such a way that it will add continue to add value to the participants, right? And this is what I'm actually like referring to before before we actually talk about this hybrid setting. Prakash is saying very right, rightly said, Lubna, the clarity is more important and the vision. And another comment from him that he's from India. Hello from
Hello.
India.
Hey.
Thank you for watching us live from India
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you. Thank you to all my friends as well from India. Thank you so much.
Yes, and if for those who are watching us, whether again live and replay, do ask your questions, give your comments, or let us know like what what are you getting out of this session as well, and hopefully we're adding value to you, right?
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
this is what we do. This is what we do, right? In order to add value.
yes, exactly. So, so from your experience, working with other leaders, whether it's corporate or business owners, and I'm not sure if you work in the corporate world as well. What would you say would be the top three problems that they normally face?
And in terms of,
What does like in whether it's in business or in the day-to-day like activities that they do, like would you say would be the top three common problems of the clients, or probably so you can relate better, like probably the actual clients or your ideal clients, top three problems that they face.
thank you so much for this very important question. First of all, I still have not entered the corporate world yet with my services, but of course, I'm looking forward to, and I work towards that. But corporate are people, after all.
Exactly.
So I can tell you that their main problems really are with the problems have to do with the lack of clarity. Again, they don't know what they want to do with their life or with their business even.
Mhm.
And of course, you have the relationship problems, and the money problems. These are always present almost in every session. It's about that. It's the lack of clarity. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm going, what where I'm going. I don't know why I'm here even on earth. What I'm doing here. And then they have relationship problems, and if you are in the corporate world, this is, oh my God, you can go to the workplace in the morning hating yourself and feeling like you are going to a war zone. And believe me, this is very destructive environment. This is very destructive. It's never constructive. So but in the transformational NLP world now, we know that when you have a workplace environment that's toxic, this is a strong indication that you have a toxic relationship with yourself. And this applies to other kinds of relationship as well, in friendship, love, marriage, your relationship with your kids. So if you notice that you are suffering from such a toxic reality, this means you really need to look inside and amend your relationship with yourself. And of course, there are the money problems. Money problems. So many millions and millions and millions of people suffer from money problems, and for very understandable reasons, and for very deep reasons, and as well. And if I want to talk about why people suffer when it comes to money, I think I will talk for at least 3 days continuously. So I would say yes, but the very important issue, because in my world I don't really like to use the word problem. It's always an experience. It's not a problem, it's an experience. The issue is they are not listening to their soul's calling. So when somebody is ignoring this very light sound inside, I can assure you they will find it very hard to feel that the happiness or satisfaction or the peace of mind. They feel always that they are not in alignment with their purpose.
Oh, that's very interesting. Again, to summarize, that's lack of clarity, relationship problems, as well as financial problems, or what you call experience, as you've mentioned. And then again, that's both whether it's personal or in business. It could be applicable as well. And
Yes.
I really appreciate you also like sharing about why most people are actually having these common problems, as you've mentioned, or a common experience, I would say, according to your language. And it's basically like what you said. They're not really in alignment with themselves or their soul's purpose, right? That's very interesting because recently I read something similar. Because I'm kind of like I'm also like a lifelong learning and kind of I would say addict in learning as well. So I attend a lot of
That's
training
wonderful. Good for
programs.
you.
Yes, mentorship. I'm always curious about so many things as well. And recently I came upon with this Gene Keys, which I don't know if you've heard before.
Him
And
keys?
Gene Keys, yes. And it's very interesting because
Not
like how they combined genes, which is very scientific,
Gene
right?
keys. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. It's
very
amazing.
scientific, but then they actually also combined with astrology and spirituality. So it's like, oh, this is very interesting. And like I really appreciate that when I read that, what I'm doing right now is basically the purpose I have. It's just that more on like, I guess, scaling it or like doing it in a bigger way.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Wonderful.
it's very interesting. And we
Indeed.
don't of course want to leave our audience with all these experiences or problems as we commonly hear it. So from from these experiences, what are the important leadership capabilities or skills a leader must have in the next normal to be able to continue to lead effectively?
I don't know why I find myself coming to the same point again, which is clarity.
Okay.
Clarity, it's all about clarity because within this clarity, the person is connected to their soul, they are connected to themselves, to other
Mm-hmm.
selves, and to life itself. You see, and this is very,
True.
very, very important because once you know where you want to go, and then somehow the road will just appear to you. And not only that, there is a very beautiful saying, I think it's Chinese. It says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And this is so true, so true. Even if you do not believe in vague things or in ambiguity, but this literally happens. It literally happens. So I think it's very important for the leader to have this clarity, sorry, and to be able to tap into their inner strength
Mm-hmm.
because life will throw hardships at you. There will be challenges. This is
Mm-hmm.
part of life. This is part of life. It's an integral part of life. So we better consent with this reality so that we can work with it seamlessly or with minimum resistance because resistance is creating more and more problems for the person. So it's very important for the leader to be able to tap into their inner strength. They need to continuously educate themselves. They need to be a lifelong learners, such as yourself. I think you are a wonderful leader in what you are doing, Marilyn. You're an
Thank
amazing person. So clarity, tapping into inner strength, and being able to being so passionate about learning. And for me, the leader is someone who is very inspiring, someone who is not afraid of taking, should I say, calculated risks.
you.
Someone who follows their passion, someone who follows their soul calling. And believe me, when someone has done the inner work, they will be able to connect with like a higher power. Some people would love to call it higher power, and the higher power will always send guidance to you. They will always tell you, they will always whisper some really amazing ideas to you.
True.
So it's fascinating. It's not easy to be a leader. Leadership is not for everyone. So you can go to schools, and I know there are now schools and courses, and there are so many trends. If you click on hashtag leadership, you will find millions of posts about that, and there are so many offerings. So you can learn the basics, you can learn it, but are you really cut out to become a leader or not? Is this your gift or not? I think it's very important because without this passion, if you are not made to be a leader, so it will always lack this spirit, if you know what I mean.
True, true. Wow, that's really great that you've shared with us. Again, I'll flush the answers that Lubna shared with us. It's about having that clarity, because that's when you know where to go, and also tapping in your inner strength and being passionate about learning, which we are. We both are, I would say.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for sharing that with us. And we've been talking about learning, leadership, and even you specialize in transformational NLP as well. So I just wanted to, if you can summarize it for us, what do you believe is the role of learning, leadership, and transformation in order to thrive in this next normal?
Thank you. Thank you. That's really a very important question. I'm all about transformation. I believe we, not only we humans, I mean, you can see that also in other species, we evolve over time. So
True.
change is inevitable. So you either lead the change or let the change leads you. So it's all about choice. It's all about choice. Like, for example, I have this phone right here, right? And every day it's telling me that there are updates. I need to update the system, etc., etc. So sometimes I ignore the updates. Sometimes I do. But when I notice with this old phone of mine, right, that if I ignore its need to update, it will not function as good as it should be, right? And anyway, it will reach a point where it's really and now out of date. It has so many functions that are not doing well, and I will find myself one day forced to buy a newer one. Anyway, this kind of phone will not be there anymore. And for people who are keeping their old phones, their old laptops, they are not even chargers now to make them work again. So change is really inevitable. So you either flow with the wave or the wave will swallow you. And this is, again, this is the nature of life, really.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And again, we've now the change is even faster than ever, and like more, I would say, in a scaled way, right? Like
Yes.
every time we have to learn, every time we have to like shift in terms of our mindset, even in the technology that we use, like what you've mentioned, shared on the cell phone. Like I don't know, every how often do we get like updates in the in on the phone, right? So it's
Yes.
really like it's about really embracing those changes that happens in our life, and really
Exactly.
making that right choice, whether what am I gonna do about it. And again, when you have the clarity in terms of where you want to go and what you want to be, or like if you want happiness, then you do everything to get there, right? And again, it's
Exactly.
really amazing how like things do show up when we know what we want to have, right?
Yes, exactly. I love to use the analogy of doors, because at the beginning, and I speak here from personal experience, when I first signed up for the mentorship program, I literally felt I was a cave woman. It was like I lived in my own cave, I minded my own business with my little family. I had nothing to do with the world. And then yeah, exactly, I reached a point where I felt there is something wrong with me. What's wrong? What's happening? Life is not happening to you. I'm not living my life anymore. Okay, so I'm alive, but I'm not living. So I when I decided to make the change, when this student was ready, the teacher showed up just like that, and then I decided to follow my calling. My soul told me, okay, go and attend the free session. And from the free session, I went ahead and I signed up for the event, and from the event, I signed up for the mentorship program, and here I am right now. Hadn't I not done that, I wouldn't be here with you today talking about leadership and transformation. Maybe
Right.
I would, I would be sitting on my sofa in my cave,
Still contemplating
doing
on what to
something
do.
else. Exactly, doing something else. I mean, oh my God! And I just wanted to add, Marilyn, that coping with change is not an option anymore. You
It's a
have to do
must.
it. You have to do it. Like, for example, with all these different technologies, it's very different. Even for anybody. I don't want to say normal people, because who is normal? Who can say that this person is normal and this person is not? But I mean, for regular people, in real life, like people who students who want to go to schools or to go to their jobs, and they use buses. So you can't just anymore go to the bus driver, give them money, and they will give you a ticket, and then that's it. No, with the coronavirus, for example, they stopped this. So it's not an option. You have to learn how to use the machine.
Hmm.
You have to learn how to use mobile phone apps to purchase your tickets. No matter how resistant you are, sometimes you hate yourself with technology. I have to learn how to follow steps. There are so many steps in the app, but if you don't do that, you will not get your tickets, for example. You will not be able to go to school or to work. You will not be able to travel. So it's not an option. It's not an option
Exactly.
anymore. So all I'm saying is just loosen the resistance.
True, true. It's about again embracing the change that is happening around us and being able to flow with it, right?
Exactly.
And
Just go with
again,
the flow. Go with the flow.
and the favorite reminder I heard from you is really to listen to that small voice inside of you. It will really guide you on, what to do next, or how it can really help you moving forward, right? And I also wanted to share another comment from Prakash Challenge. Vision is shared and empowerment is given. However, still ownership and accountability is missing. Any experience you would like to share which will help? Oh, he's asking us to share our experience really more toward like having this ownership and accountability. Would you like to share anything?
Yes, yes, absolutely. This is the kind of question that I have been waiting for, actually. Because thank you so much, Mr. Prakash, for this question. So many people are suffering from exactly the same experience. Again, because they do the work. They do the work. They invest heavily in courses, in mentorship, in coaching, right? And they buy all these different programs and systems, and they are empowered. Okay, they learn how to use the program, they learn the steps, but where is the ownership, where is the accountability? It's missing. You know why? Because of the programming. When something is happening in your real world, so you are doing the work but you feel that there is a block, then there is a block, and this block is stemming from limiting beliefs, or or from your hidden unconscious programming. And this is something that we see in daily life, and this is why now I'm reaching out to other coaches, strategy coaches, leadership coaches, who have systems and programs now, and telling them, embed me as a transformational NLP master practitioner in your programs to show accountability, because your client will buy the program but they will not do it, they will not, or they will not finish the work. And there are so many very deep reasons. Like, for example, I can give you a very good example about this limiting, not belief, it's about unconscious programming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's the success failure program. Several of my clients, they suffer from this kind of programming. They find it very hard to succeed. It's very hard for them to hit the next level. It's very hard. And what's interesting is that every time they reach a new plateau of success, they find themselves falling back or doing self destructive things to diminish from their success. Or like, for example, someone who works in social media, like a YouTuber, let's say, okay,
Mhm.
someone who is a YouTuber, for example, just for the sake of giving the example, and they would do videos and answer the comments of the followers, etc., etc. And when they reach, for example, their first 10,000 follower, they will stop here. They will not be posting as before. They will not be replying as fast. And there are several reasons. They might be scared of their own success. They might be scared of their own success. And this is very deep, but I don't think we have time to explore that. The
Mhm.
other programming, limiting programming, unfortunately, is some people believe that in order for me to succeed, I need a strong motivation. And this strong motivation comes from failure. So when they hit this 10,000 follower in our example, they start doing some self-destructive behaviors, right? And when they feel, oh, I'm failing, and now they are motivated again, so they come back strongly. When they reach 1,000 100,000 followers, they will keep the same patterning, because in their mind they need strong motivation coming from failure in order to push them upwards. So these are only examples of the programming that will stand in the way of ownership and accountability. And there are, of course, other numerous patternings that are standing in the way.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. And it's like in my case, from my experience working with quite a number of corporates, leaders, and having this common conversation I hear from learning and development practitioners, that like how can we actually like make them more accountable with their own learning, or how can they we make them more accountable with like really making use between knowledge and application, right? And it's a common problem or question, and it's very interesting. So that's the reason why I also experimented a lot in the last 2 years, on how can we do that. And again, like it's very interesting that they wanted to get there, but they don't want to do anything as well to really have that result, right? And obviously, like what you've said, even leadership is a process, right? And that's the same with learning, right? It's a process that you have to take, and it's a process you have to learn. And basically as human, we have to like embrace those changes. We have to transform, we have to like adapt, and we have to make use of what we learn basically. And it requires like building habits, building the right mindset, or even like having the skills and making that follow through. That's why I've actually discovered this gamification program that we're also running. And I said like from the reaction or the response of the especially of HR and L&D lead, team leads, they said like, oh, this is actually a good way to engage employees and to help them like, okay, this is what we want and this is how we did it from the game, and so what can we improve moving forward, and what can we see in the actual workplace after this game, right? And also the mastermind also that I've run last year, it also gives them like, okay, those aha moments, and like for them the ability to reflect, which more often than not, of course, there are some trainings who incorporates that, but more often than not, due to limited timing, usually coaching or like masterminds are not being implemented anymore, right? And which is very important for them to reflect, and from that reflections, and really like if the suggestions or if the improvements are coming from the participants themselves, then the accountability as well increases, because the suggestion came from them from themselves, right? And that's the reason why I always advocate co-created and customized program, because it has to be
Exactly.
working for you, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense if this is a, like what Dave Ulrich, I just recently have an interview with Dave. He said, like, okay, there are benchmarks, there are best practices, but the question is what works for you and your team, right? So it's all about finding out which one would work best based on your operations and the people that are working within your team, right?
Sure, sure. Of course, you need to experiment a lot of that. And I really love how in your company you are really coping up with the latest technologies and with gamification. This is very interesting, and I think it's a very clever way to do work or to learn, because I will tell you why. Okay, why we are not doing the ownership or the accountability. We have issues with that, because like I said, there are deep hidden reasons lurking in the dark. But it's true, we are laughing, but unfortunately it's true, because some people, they are afraid of their own success.
Mhm.
Okay, if I finish this program, then what will happen then? They lack ambiguity, for example. Or,
Mhm.
oh, if I finish this program, I will become a celebrity. I don't want to be out there,
Mhm.
and maybe people will judge me, etc.
Mhm.
Or if I finish this program, this means I will have to do more work. I don't want to do more work. So there are very deep reasons even behind what I'm telling you right now. It's in layers, right? So with gamification, and this is very important for everyone who is watching us right now to know why people love games so much. You know why? Because it's safe. It's safe. When they fail, they are not really failing in real life. And there is
Mhm.
always chance, there is always a chance to do it again. This is the basics. Of course, games now are very different than when I was a little kid. Right? I mean, the games we are having, our kids are having right now, they are very different than our own games. I think games right now, there is some very risky elements to them now, because they are now online and etc. I don't want to discuss this. So what I want to say, that we are as human beings. Look, before you are a CEO or a normal employee, a cashier, for example, right?
Mhm.
Before you are a man or a woman, you are a human being. And before you are a human being, you are a soul. So, as a soul, you came here to earth in order to learn a lesson or experience something. There is something you wanted to experience. And you come here in this flesh and blood suit, in this human body. Our human body is very intelligent, very intelligent. It's a walking. We are walking miracles, but we underestimate ourselves, unfortunately. But this body is inclined to protect the soul while it's here on earth. And there is a part here in our brain that is called critter brain. This one is wired from God, from the creator, is wired to protect us instinctively. So you notice sometimes that you would do things without even having the time to process or even having the time to think. Like, for example, if you want to cross the street and then a very fast car comes, you instinctively jump back or run forward, right? This
Mhm.
is in order to protect the soul, to keep us safe and alive. So, if we understand this, now we know why we find it very hard to achieve what we are looking for, or we are what we are striving for. Like, for example, people want money. They do everything to get money. They work very hard. They invest heavily in coaching and mentors and programs, but they will never get it. Why? Because here thinks that money is risky and dangerous. If I have money, I might be robbed. If I have money, I will lose it. For example, if I have money, I might be kidnapped. If I have money, my wife will take it from me in a settlement. so so they want it, but it's not safe. It will never happen. Somebody wants love. I want love in my life. Oh, but my father was so mean to my mom. Maybe this person is going to hit me. Maybe they are going to cheat on me. Oh, I'm very scared of love. It will never happen. I want it. I go out. I date people. I will never have the relationship I dream about because deep down it's unsafe. So, back to gamification. It's very clever. Why? Because the people who are now incorporating games in work and in education as well, they know about this safety wiring,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think this is a great way to do work and to
Mm-hmm.
achieve results with lesser effort than normal.
Yes, very true. And I think that's also the reason why it's been incorporated, like what you've said, in so many activities at work, whether it's through rewards, employee engagement, or even in learning and development. So that leads me to my last two questions for you. Um,
Mhm.
so the first one is, if you have a magic wand and can use it, what will you do?
Okay, but promise to not to laugh because we
Okay.
talk about this all the time with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would move my magic wand and let all the parking, all all the cars that are not parking, that are not parked well, align perfectly, so that there will be more spaces for cars.
That's very interesting.
Oh my god! No, because we talk about this all the time. My daughter would always ask me, "Mom, if you would have a magical talent." Right, what would that be? Would you like to be like invisible? Would you like to time travel, or would things like that? So because we are having this little issue with the car parking, I don't know. I think it deep down it has to do with being fair and not taking something that does not belong to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, there are always layers. There are always layers behind everything that you say or everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, but in reality, I would love to install the mindset that before you are a man, before you are a woman, you are a human being. And if you adopt this kind of mindset, it will really help you so much reach the happiness that's anyway it's within you.
So again, before you are a man
Or a
or a,
woman. Before you are a man or a woman, before you are male or female,
mhm,
you are a
you
human being.
you are a human. Okay.
Yeah, and before you are a human being, of course, you are a soul. So when look, when something bad happens to somebody, like someone gets a cancer, God forbid.
Mhm.
Normally, oh, someone has got cancer. Oh, that's so bad. It's terrible for him, for them, or for their families. It's okay. It's terrible. Of course, it's terrible. But as a soul, I ask myself, I wonder what this soul wanted to learn from this experience. And I ask this question to my clients because we sometimes we tend to forget that we chose the life that we are having right now. We are choosing. We are always choosing. Life is about choices. I'm sure you heard about that before, right? So life is about choices that you make, but more importantly about the unconscious choices that you are making constantly. Why would you choose to eat fish and not chicken today? Why did you wear this today? Why did I wear red today? Why did you wear this dress today? Right? There are always unconscious reasons behind our choices. So now I have learned to look at things differently. I wonder what kind of experience this soul wanted to have. I wonder what feelings this soul wanted to experience. I wonder what lesson They wanted to learn. And believe me, if you ask your question, yourself this question, you will get the answer. Some people get their terrible, terrible experiences in order for them to experience survival. Some souls go through hell to experience greatness. Uh, Sorry. Like, for example, there was an Egyptian TV series, okay,
Mhm.
on TV during Ramadan. You know, Ramadan, the holy month
Yes.
of fasting in Islam.
Yeah, just recently.
So yes, so this TV series was about a woman who was a subject to domestic violence, and she wanted divorce. But then her ex-husband uh, made life impossible to her. He kicked her out of home. He stole her furniture. He stole her money, and she has also two little daughters. So it was really horrible for her. But because of this suffering, she decided that she is going to file a lawsuit against the law itself.
Hmm.
This
Okay.
way, she is contributing to changing the life of millions of men, women, and children who
Hmm.
have been wronged by the very law that is outdated and is not serving any justice for men or women or the kids.
Hmm.
So some souls they choose to experience greatness through their suffering. So, for example, this lady, if it was not for the abusement of the husband, she would never think to file a lawsuit against the law itself. You see, this is big in countries like ours. This is big. This is huge.
That's a very interesting story that you've shared with us, and again, like a lot of us are here to live our purpose, to experience things, to learn from things, right?
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for sharing that with us, and also the magic wand wish that you have. It's very interesting, but again, it falls down to fairness and having that enough space for everyone, which we have, right?
Exactly. Yes, yes,
And
exactly. So I don't know why small cars they always take the biggest parking place available. Or for example, there is a parking place for three cars, but because they are so careless or they are so selfish, maybe, right?
mhm,
There will be barely enough space for two cars or something. So yes, I would
yeah,
love to have a magic one to in order to
like I think
to straighten this matter up.
the reason behind that is not only fairness, but also like more I would say more for everyone,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely. Yes.
organization around
Yeah,
us, which
yes,
is like
yes.
in a chaotic world, it's not a surprise that anyone like my purpose basically is around helping people or others to tidy up, to making things simple for them and for organizing and tidying things up.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's wonderful. I think we need more people in the world like you.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. So yeah, and my last question then, this is gonna be exciting because this is also a very open question, I would say. So
Okay.
if you were to ask yourself a question that you can best answer, what would it be? What question is that? You mentioned earlier, again, like it's all about asking ourselves also the right questions, right? And even for teams, right, it's all about asking the right questions to your team. And so this time it's you asking yourself a question that you can best answer. So because since you know the best answer as well, please feel free to answer it for us as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, this is not a simple question at all. This is very deep and no one question that can apply to everyone. So if I'm going to ask a question to myself and my answer will be different. Maybe you and I will ask the same question, but the answers will be different because again, Your soul's experience is different than my soul's experience,
Exactly.
right? And actually, since I learned the secrets of asking the right questions, I can tell you that my life shifted dramatically to the best. You know, I'm having now better experiences because now I'm asking the right questions. So instead of saying, "Oh my, why is this happening to me?"
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, like for example, why I'm getting sick. Now I'm asking, I wonder what this sickness wants to tell me. Okay, why my colleague is so mean? Why are they so mean to me? Okay, the question now will be, I wonder, I wonder what is their message to me behind their meanness to me.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what changes do I need to make inside in order to have better experiences with these people. Like, for example, in the line of business, today, this morning, for example, I asked myself the question. I wonder who I am going to meet today that is going to help me open new markets for my business. And here we are. And the day is still young. I mean, here in Germany, it's still 10 a.m. So it's not only one question, but if there is one question, it will be, I wonder what I can do while I'm here on Earth to leave a positive impact.
I wonder what I can do on this earth.
Yeah, I wonder what I can do while I'm here on this Earth to leave a positive impact.
Impact. That's a wonderful question.
Thank you.
And
And you
what
know
would
what?
be
There is
your
no one
message?
answer. There is no one answer because smaller things that you do, like for example, last year, every year is about a theme. Something that I have done last year is that I noticed that when you are driving your car, and of course you need to stop for the pedestrians, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the pedestrians crossover. So when you make an eye contact, you don't know them; they are totally strangers, right? So when you make
Mm-hmm.
an eye contact and you smile to them, okay, and they smile back at you, you can see the joy that someone, a perfect stranger, is smiling at them and giving them priority to cross over.
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage everyone to to just go out and try this. So you do not just stop at the pedestrian crossover because this is the law,
Mm-hmm.
because there are no radars on pedestrian crossovers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose to ignore this if you want. But out of courtesy, so as an added bonus, if you make an eye contact and you smile to them and you salute them, you will make their day. So this little, very little thing, it's amazing. And what I love even more is that when I am the pedestrian and someone is stopping their car for me to cross over, I will make the eye contact and I will say thank you. And you can notice their face immediately brightening up. So it's sometimes it's the smallest things that are leaving the biggest impact. And I do believe in a cumulative what do you call it, impact, a cumulative effect. One
Mm-hmm.
little thing add on top of one little thing on top of one little thing, and it's a big thing one day.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I also do that a lot when I cross and like a car stops. Although those are like a pedestrian as well. And just to flash a bit of the message, oh, we have a lot already from Prakash. True, fear and success could be one possibility. This was the earlier uh sharing around the limiting belief, right? And the fears that goes along with it. Yes, Marilyn, identifying which is working for itself and process. Good one. Thank you. And why will give more clarity, and then how. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you for clarifying that, and I'm really glad that you've been engaging with us, Prakash. We really appreciate you joining us in this conversation, in fact. And for those who will be able to watch us on the replay, feel free to leave your comments, what you've learned, what's your aha moment from this conversation, and hopefully we have inspired or at least helped someone smile today, right?
Yes, and this is a big achievement on its own right.
True, true. I really appreciate this conversation. Very authentic, and at the same time, as you mentioned, it's really something that um give us a reminder on how we should be aligned more with our soul, with our purpose, right? And it's a very important thing that we have to be reminded of on a daily basis. And I love your question as well. And this is a question that I always ask myself as well.
Wow.
And because I'm a curious person, I always ask a lot of questions as well. And but one of them is really like, being able to how can we actually create a better world, or create or leave a positive impact to others as well, right? So thank you so much for sharing
Amazing.
that.
Thank
And
you.
before we end this conversation, do you have any additional message that you'd like to leave our audience with?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Please, please help yourself. And you need to start as soon as possible because, like I said in the beginning, the clock will
Is
still be ticking. It will not wait for anybody. So if you notice that you have been in the same place for 2 years and more, please do not wait anymore and start helping yourself because you will wake up one day with gray hair. But anyway, no, no, for real, for real. Go ahead and help yourself. And we are very lucky nowadays because there are so many things people can do to help themselves take
mm-hmm.
the steps towards positive change, and it's for free. There are so many coaches like me and you, Marilyn, and there are so many other people who are offering very valuable insight on how you start your transformation journey. There are affirmations as well, there are subliminals as well, and there are all of these free webinars, and there is real value. So if you say, okay, I don't have money, that's fine. Just try to
Search
make
in
use of what's
Google.
available. Try to make use of what's available for you right now. I mean, this is how I started. I started listening to free broadcasts. I chose certain spiritual leaders from the Arab world, and I started listening to them, and I took some ideas. I started Googling, and then when it was time, I invested, and I still invest, and I will keep invest heavily in mentors and coaches, right? You need, at one point you need a professional coach or a mentor or a guide to guide you, and when you are there you will notice that you are making leaps in life. But
True.
if you say I don't have money, that's not an issue at all because there is a ton of information, and there is a ton of helpful material to help you. What you need really, and as we say in the happiness world, happiness is about a decision, a choice, making the choice, and taking steps.
True.
So embarking on this positive change journey is something that's very personal and it's very individual, and you deserve to find your own happiness inside. Happiness is like a gym, it's inside, but because of pain and suffering and bad relations and poverty as well, or sickness, etc., now there are layers of dust.
Mm-hmm.
But believe me, if you decide and if you make the choice and if you take the steps, these layers of dust will be cleaned away, and then your jewel of happiness will shine again. And this is not a myth. And I am a living example of that. Marilyn, how amazing it is to wake up in the morning feeling happy for no reason. For no reason. Just happy, just like that. And it's
True.
achievable.
Definitely. Yes, I love your message. Thank you so much. And again, we would like happiness in our lives. So it's up to us. It's all up to us. So thank you so much for reminding everyone, every souls, to choose to be happy and to choose whatever they want in life, because they can get that if they just, decide and make a choice to do so. So thank you so much, Lubna, for this wonderful conversation. And I also appreciate, of course, Prakash for joining us and for engaging us throughout the live. And also for those who are giving us their heart, their likes, and all their reactions. We thank you for that. And hopefully you get value out of this conversation. So with that, we would like to thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Lubna, and
Thank
do
you.
join us in continuously creating opportunities for us to make this world a better place to live in, hopefully. And remember that even the richest investors in the world would say that investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever make in your life. So, with that, we would like to leave you with this quote that if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to do more, to dream more, and to become more, then you are an excellent leader. Thank you so much, and
Wonderful.
have a great day, everyone. And looking forward to have you in our next sessions next week. Bye
Thank
for
you.
now. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome. Bye for now.